Yeah, and then I burped in her mom's face.
Yes. Yeah, Scotty.
All right, it's the day before Elvis's birthday, and he's already taken off. So this
What we were trying to take odds on whether or not he's going to do the show tomorrow, or he's going to say, Nate, you do the show for me tomorrow.
Do we want to go around the room here real quick and see whether or not you guys think he's going to take off? Froggy.
I say he works.
Okay. Danielle.
I actually think he's going to work.
Okay. Scary.
I think he's going to work tomorrow, but maybe he gets so hammered for his birthday tomorrow night that he's going to take off Friday and make it a 3-day weekend.
100%.
Okay.
That's what he's going to do.
Scotty B.
I believe he will work tomorrow and Friday.
Ooh. No. Do you know something we don't?
No.
No. Okay, Garrett.
You said it like
I
you told
think he comes on the air an hour into the show tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, he
Gandhi?
is going for a late dinner tonight, so I don't know.
Yeah. Gandhi, what are your thoughts?
I think he's going to come in today and tomorrow.
Well, he already came in today.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I mean,
You won that side.
tomorrow and Friday. My brain is as delayed as
She's
the
right.
sound on this thing right now.
Gandhi's throwing
Gandhi is
$1,000 down. He will be in
she's
today.
Predicting the past.
No, she's right. She's
Yes.
half right already. So.
That's right.
Exactly. Brody.
I think you will play 2 songs to open the show tomorrow, very long ones, because he'll be running a few minutes late, and then blame something that doesn't exist. And then he will leave early, around an hour before the show ends, and he will not be here Friday. All deservedly so, by the
I love
way.
how detailed these are.
It's really fucking
really
convoluted.
are.
It started out with, is he going to work tomorrow or not? And now there's like 7 different scenarios.
You know what?
I could see that happening, though.
If you want to bid $1, that's fine. I'm going to match this price exactly.
Okay. Fantastic. Sam.
I'm winning both showcases.
I think we're going to see him in the 7 o'clock hour on Friday.
Okay.
So not
On
even
Friday.
tomorrow?
No, he'll be here for his birthday.
Okay.
And then we'll find out at like 5:59 that he's going to be a little late
Okay.
The next morning.
the next morning.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I'm 100% sure he's going to be here tomorrow.
Yep.
Or on with us.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair. Like, you guys talk about it.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
you know.
will he be? Hold on. I got a question, Nate.
Yeah.
Will he be somewhere between Iowa and I don't know what other town?
No, I think he'll be right in New Jersey. I think that as far as distance from New York goes, I think somewhere in New Jersey. Okay. So,
No, wait, Froggy, were you talking his condition that he was in Iowa versus geography?
yeah.
Correct.
Right, you were not talking location Iowa.
No.
You were talking hammered in Iowa.
Don't
Okay.
we have a guest tomorrow? Like,
Well, it's being recorded after the show, so
Oh.
I'm thinking.
so I guess he can pop in at the
maybe-
end.
Yeah, maybe if he decides to tap out, it really doesn't affect the next day because he can still sign on at 10:30 to record an interview. So, yeah.
Okay.
See, you didn't tell us that info. I mean, so he's definitely going to be here tomorrow then.
No, see, that's the thing is it's being recorded after the show. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
he
yeah,
could
got it. All
not
right.
do the show. So,
All right.
anyway. All right. Are we done?
That Iowa
okay,
morning
no.
was still one of my favorite mornings of all time.
My God, I just, I don't know. It was like
Nate aged about 3 years in one day that day.
I think that was the cause of the first stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Definitely.
Stop.
Oh my God!
Stop.
I don't even want to get into it. How do you even tell that story, Danielle?
I don't know.
You
I got a
can't.
call from Danielle, and she goes, I don't think we're going to do a show today.
I don't know if he wants us to really tell the story.
We told it without telling it. You know what I mean? Like,
Haven't
and
we
look,
told it?
But you have? And here's the
Yeah,
thing.
so many times.
It wasn't even
Yeah.
Elvis's fault because the program director of that radio station took him out partying the night before. And so it wasn't even like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, okay.
I remember I got a call from Nate. He's like, tell him that this is not okay. And while he rips the phone out of Nate's hand, don't listen to Nate. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm fine.
And then he called me and he's like, Danielle, I can do a show, right? I'm like, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
God.
That was a good
Yeah,
day,
that
though.
was
fun.
You know, it's so funny because I remember that morning was very stressful, especially for Skiri and me. And then that night, Skiri and I would normally go out in Iowa, and we would go to, what are the name of those the bar we would go to?
Well, I forgot the street is. I mean, obviously, it's in downtown Des Moines as
Yeah.
6th
I can't remember
Street
the
or
name.
something like that.
It's not
We would, like,
Locust,
go to
is it?
All the bars, they're indoor, they're outdoor bars. We were at an
I
outdoor
think that
bar.
might be one. And like Zombie Burger. And, that was always a thing. We would go out on Friday night, and we would have a good time.
Oh,
And
the pizza place.
Yeah, whatever the hell. But anyway, Scary and I called each other at like 7 o'clock that night. I can't. I'm too tired. Like, we're exhausted.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Oh.
I love Zombie Burger, by the way. That place is awesome.
And,
Anyway, somebody had some. Brody, I think you had something, didn't you?
Did we want to talk about the thing I said I had or the Rihanna story?
Oh, the Rihanna story. So what's this story, Gandhi? Rihanna's a billionaire now?
Rihanna is officially a billionaire, and I love her so much. We were actually talking about this like 2 days ago, Andrew Diamond and I, while we were driving around the country. Like, when is this going to happen? Because her Fenty beauty line and all of her like Savage by Fenty lingerie, all that stuff has been crushing it. And I was just waiting because, they don't make the money off the music. They never make money off the music.
Well, she's
it's always
not.
all the other stuff they do. And I was just like excited, and now she's a billionaire.
That's
$1.7 billion, Rihanna. I
Hold
know,
on,
I love her.
1.7
I just love her
billion?
even more.
She's almost.
Oh, jeez.
So she's closer to $2
$1.7
billion?
billion, they estimate her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
wow.
And when was the last time? What was her last hit? Was it Work? Was that her last hit?
No, it was after that. I mean, she came out, she did that song Wild Thoughts with DJ Khaled. She did some of the stuff with like Justin Timberlake and Paul McCartney. Her last album was Anti, and she hasn't really had an album since then. She's been promising one for a long time, but not
Here's
happening.
a fact that blows my
it.
mind. The best-selling artists of all time, I'll give you them from the top down. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
The Beatles, number 1.
Yeah, of course.
Elvis Presley, number 2.
They're fabulous.
Michael Jackson, number 3. Elton John, number 4. Madonna, number 5. Led Zeppelin, number 6.
Yep.
Rihanna, number 7.
Wow.
All time.
Shit.
No.
Of all time. and
Holy
then
shit.
Pink Floyd. Like, doesn't
where-
that just
Pink
blow your
Floyd.
mind?
I thought
That's
Drake would
crazy.
be right up there, too.
Nope.
Dark Side of the Moon was
People
on the charts for
underestimate
like...
Rihanna. I'm telling you, she is a force.
The
She's
other thing
amazing.
is, Rihanna is featured on a lot of songs. Like she has 2 smash hits with Eminem.
Yep.
She's on Calvin Harris. This is what you came for. So she does a lot of that. Hey,
Yeah, but
I'm
does
just gonna
that
drop.
count?
I'm just gonna drop a verse, or I'm gonna sing your chorus, and then walk away. And it
Does
doesn't
that
have to be
count,
on her
though?
album.
That counts.
Does that
Yeah,
count
it
towards
should
the
get
Yes,
paid for it.
absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
amazing is with the list that Nate just gave, Rihanna has the potential to blow everyone out of the water because most of those people are like, they're probably not going
beating
to
the Beatles.
pump out a
Decrepit.
new hit. I hope not the
Decrepit.
Beatles. I'm Team Beatles for everything.
Dude, you have $2 billion.
Dead.
You're not making another album. Let's be
No.
honest. Like,
You
she
don't
doesn't
have
need
to, but
No.
you could do it just because you want to do it.
Think about the Jessica Simpsons, like people like that. Like, she didn't make the money with the music, really.
No.
Oh, she is a freaking empire when it comes to her shoe line and her clothes and all that. She's worth so much money. It's crazy. And J Lo,
Plus-
did great with everything else, but she's killing it with her stuff as well.
Like the way it works, and you guys all know this, once they make an album, the record company then makes them do a million things to promote that album and go on tour and go to
Yep.
stupid radio stations and talk to people. They don't want to do that.
Hey,
They're not gonna do it.
hey! Stupid radio
That's not
stations.
nice.
Hey,
Well, not us,
Yes,
but there's other
that's
radios.
exactly how they feel
Hey,
about us, and
so-
you know it.
speaking of which, I started telling Gandhi before we started this, the Rihanna story about, record labels giving them things to do. Some of you guys were here on the show. 2006, we did a party plane with like 100 listeners and a guest, and we went to St. Lucia. And usually we go with a couple of musical artists to perform. And we went with Ray J, who was terrific to hang out with. And we went with a young girl named Rihanna, who had one hit, Pon de
Rihanna.
Replay.
Sorry, it's driving
Rihanna,
me nuts.
sorry.
It's Rihanna.
Well, she
Yeah,
told me it was
okay.
Rihanna when we were hanging out by the pool, but okay. So
No, she says Rihanna herself.
that's fine. No,
And Ray J was pre-Kim Kardashian tape, so he
Right.
was-
That's
yes,
right.
that's right. It was.
And if you remember, the pool that we had in St. Lucia, the first few feet was like 6 inches of water, so you could put your chair in the water and sit in the pool. And we were hanging out in the I don't know, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and everyone was drinking. And one of Ray J's posse went diving headfirst into the pool and smashed into the concrete.
Oh my God.
And then got up, was like, you didn't, like, nobody saw it. He's like, I'm all right. Anyway, so Rihanna, nobody really knew who she was. Rihanna. Anna. So, she was just a girl with one hit, and you never know how people with one hit are gonna, turn out to be billionaires or whatever. And so a couple of us just hung out with her, standing by the pool, standing by the bar, talking to her because she was bored out of her mind. She didn't have anybody with her really, and so we had this sales guy, Bob.
Oh boy, here comes the story.
And so
this is where it escalates.
Bob got drunk and started running around in his tighty whities, and he was face humping women on lounge chairs. He was just out of his mind.
He sounds so charming.
Yeah, and then so he started like doing like a sexy snake dance for Rihanna, Rihanna, and Riri, and she was laughing. She's like, "Go Bob," and she was making him dance, and he was, threatening to get naked in front of her. And then from that point on, every time she would come to the radio station, she'd go, "Where's Bob? Where's Bob? Is Bob here? Where's Bob?" Bob didn't last very long, but she remembered him, and that was again. At that point, a one-hit person, and you never know who you're gonna like be friendly with. And this girl who just had no one to hang out with and talk to.
And Bob stepped in a pile of shit because had only been working at the radio station for 2 months as a salesperson, 3 weeks, and he won the trip.
People were so pissed.
People were so angry.
People were so mad.
All he did was guess jelly beans in a jar.
Right.
He got the closest
and
to
for
the
that, he
amount.
got to snake dance and
in his underwear, stripped down to nothing but his underwear.
I do believe his underwear came off at some point. I remember naked Bob.
Yes, well, he was sex dancing his boss,
sex dancing.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He was like, he gave her a lap dance.
He has a great party story now, though. Now, like today, he's probably telling someone, "You know what? I stripped for Rihanna once.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
I stripped for her, and she loved it."
And then for years, Rihanna would not do interviews. Like a lot of she didn't want to do a lot of interviews. But whenever we were someplace, she would say, "I'll talk to Elvis." And she would come and she would interview with us or with Elvis.
Ask where Bob was.
And she would not. She would not talk to other people.
What's funny about other than the Bob story, like talking about Rihanna and when she first started. I remember meeting her when I think it was Pond to Replay. Wasn't that her first single?
Yeah, it was her first single.
That's when we met her. Yeah.
It came out and she came into Los Angeles. I was working at Seacrest at the time, and she came into the studio. And I remember thinking, like, well, I don't know if this girl's gonna have another hit because she was so shy. And she was just so meek, and even on the mic, she, didn't really speak up or anything like that. But then here she is, years later. I think it just goes to show that your work and your art can supersede other things sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's artists that you looked at back when they first came in. You're like, we're never gonna hear from this
there's
person
always.
again.
I remember when I first started in radio. I was in Tampa. And one day they're like, "Hey, can you stay after the show today? We want you to watch this girl perform." And so we go and we watch this girl, and it was Britney Spears. And we were like, "Yeah, okay, great, whatever." And we were very nice to her. We said hello. We took a picture with her, whatever. She was sitting in the lobby of the radio station waiting for us to gather in the conference room.
Yep.
And she ended up being Britney Spears. Like you never know what these people are going to turn into.
Similar Britney story. It was the Jingle Ball, and we were in the green room eating. It was, the place where we just hang out back in the back. And Britney was there.
With her
she
little
had a little backpack.
With her backpack on.
She goes
her
to
mom.
sit on the sofa. Same exact deal, Frog.
Yep.
They were like, "Oh, if you want to take a picture, hang out." Right. And she was watching the concert with us.
Yeah.
From the green room,
With her mother.
over a window, and she hadn't even had "Baby One More Time" out yet, so you just don't know what's going to become of
I
something.
remember being at Jingle Ball with Katy Perry, standing in the little side box with our boss Sharon that used to work here, and we stood there, and the three of us stood arm in arm and sang New Kids on the Block songs together. And at the time, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It had just come out. It was only out maybe a couple weeks, and she went on stage real quick, did a quick announcement, sang like two verses of the song just real quick and left, and now she's married to Orlando Bloom.
My old radio station actually did it to Justin Bieber. We actually kind of did something bad to him. It wasn't me. I was not the boss, but he was, he came out when he was a little kid, and he was a YouTuber, and he came to this big event that we used to have called Red, White, and Boom, and he wanted to perform. So they told him he was performing live on the air, and they just turned the speaker on to this like little pack of people who were standing there and lied to him about it. He thought he was on the air. He was so happy. He wrote all of us a little note saying, "Thank you so much for being so kind." Emails are not emails. He actually mailed the piece of freaking the picture to all of us, and I threw mine away. I was like, "Oh, shit, I don't need it."
Hey,
I know, but he thought he was performing.
Do you remember the first time Justin came up to our radio station in New York? So one of our former members, TJ, used to interview people that were up-and-comers or YouTube stars. and he had Justin Bieber come into the station to do a podcast or like an interview for YouTube. We didn't do podcasts then. And I think Justin was maybe 15 or 14, and he interviewed him, and he's this little kid. Hi, I'm Justin. And he asked Justin, he said, hey, if you get famous, is there any female celebrity you'd like to, maybe get to meet, hook up with? And he said, I'd like to meet Selena Gomez, which we played for her years later because she became a bigger star and a music star, and he had become a star, and this was before they dated. And that was the first time she knew, right? Or were they already dating? I think they were.
No, they were already dating.
Right, and we played the clip for her of the first time he came up. But do you guys remember, we did a New York Jingle Ball on a Friday. And sometimes, because there's so many people on in New York, sometimes an artist with one song will come out, do one song at the beginning, and they're done for the night. And then when we do other Jingle Balls in other cities, there might be more time for them. So one year, I don't know, it was about 10 years ago now, you guys will remember the year, maybe 2009, a female performer did one song in New York, and she was good. And then we went to Philadelphia a few days, like 5 days later, 6 days later on the Wednesday, and we were backstage, and she was standing in the corner. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. Oh, right, she opened up New York Jingle Ball. Yeah, she's got that song, right? And then she went on stage, and she destroyed. And we were all standing on the side of the stage, and a lot of us were saying, she's acting like a superstar, and she has one hit. She had dancers and choreography, and they had swords, and they killed her, and it was unbelievable. We're like, wow, she's got the crowd going, and we're like, she has one song. Look how confident she is. That was Lady Gaga.
Yep.
And she was just walking around in the back in Philadelphia at Q102.
Yep.
We're like, oh, yeah, the girl with the blonde wig in the catsuit.
Yep.
That's that Lady Gaga. She's got Just Dance.
Wow.
And then as soon as she performed like on that stage, we're like, holy crap.
So on the Lady Gaga tip, I was hosting a live broadcast at a club in Atlantic City, and New Kids on the Block had come back, and they were performing at this nightclub, and Lady Gaga was opening for the New Kids on the Block at an after party at a nightclub in AC.
Wow.
And they said, Scary, you're going to go introduce her. So I went up to her, and I'm like, hi, how are you? And Just Dance was just hitting. And I'm like, hi, I'm Scary. She goes, yeah, I grew up listening to you guys. I'm like, oh, hi.
So,
Nice to
right? That's
This was
craziest thing.
2008.
Yep.
2008. We had already been on the air for how many years, Danielle?
A long while.
A long time.
13 years. We had already been on the air for 13 years. And she had said, I grew up listening to you guys. She goes, yeah, I know who you are. She goes, I know who you are. I said, all right, I'm going to introduce you.
That when she came up to the station for the first time, I actually have the video still because we were all chatting and I started talking and she stopped and she said, keep talking. And I go, why am I keep talking? She goes, because I might freak out a little bit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, I grew up listening to you and hearing the sound of your voice. And she touched my hand and I'm like, holy shit, did Lady Gaga just say she grew up talking to me? And she's going to freak out. I'm going to pee my pants right now. like in my head, it was probably one of the coolest moments ever.
Yeah, and then I burped in her mom's face.
Yes.
Yeah, Scotty for the win.
There you go, Scotty.
Oh, man.
Can we roll that clip real quick?
One of my favorite moments ever.
She's sharing her experiences. Like a very creative.
Hold on a second. What? Hold on. Someone.
What the heck was that?
Way! Shut up! Who was this?
Are Brody and Garrett and people still connected?
No,
that sounded like Scotty B to me.
Oh.
I can't, Scotty.
Well, that's all we have time for
I think we're out
today.
of time. Darn.
Okay.
We're out of time.